welcome to another edition of ATL Prime Sports. I'm Jurjevich. Joining me this evening is our fabulous producer, Wayne Ridenauer in snowy Memphis, Tennessee. You can find us all at ATL Prime Sports on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. You can find our personal Twitters or X's at JJ Get You One for myself, at RWY Jr. for Wayne, at Corder Todd for TC Todd Corder, who is out calling the Clayton State Lakers game as we speak, and that LG for real, though, for Larry Gardner, the voice of the Rome Emperors, who is out coaching his son's basketball team. Hopefully they are winners this evening. Wayne, how you doing, buddy?
No, I'm doing pretty good. In fact, I'm doing a little bit better than I was last week because Memphis basketball has now broken into the top 10. We've got a game tomorrow night. If the roads are open enough, I will most definitely be there. And they play the South Florida Bulls here at home.
Nice. USF. As you can see, I got my Memphis hat up there
Right.
on display for our YouTube audience to see. I'm doing great, but not as well as Ronald Acuna Jr. batting lefty, though. This is awesome. At Braves on Bally on X, posted a video of Ronald hitting bombs left-handed. And if he becomes a switch hitter, folks, he becomes even more of a pitcher's nightmare. The guy was hitting bombs, folks. Again, go check it out. Braves on Bally. At Braves on Bally on Twitter. Go check it out. I got it posted, just a picture of it, but the video is actually mesmerizing. And the sound the ball makes off the bat, left-handed,
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Well, hey, didn't Larry Bird play almost an entire NBA game left-handed one time?
There's rumors of that.
Yeah.
I do not know if that is true or not, but supposedly he played an entire second half or full game or something left-handed because his right hand was hurt, something like that. I can't remember. What's on tap for today's show? The NFL playoffs are fully underway. We're in the divisional round this weekend. We'll preview that in the Pick Six this weekend, and we'll kind of go over the wild card round from last week, and we'll update you on some coaching vacancies. And, of course, the Pick Six, kind of short and sweet today, just Wayne and I, so let's get into it. The Cowboys got blown out as well as the Eagles. Let's go over wild card weekend and the coaching carousel right here, right now on ATL Prime Sports. Folks, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe. We do this for fun, so just, give us a follow, have a little fun with us. Your thoughts on a wild card weekend, Wayne?
Man, it could not be any more of a mixed bag of what's going on. If you all looked at my picks last week, I definitely didn't do too well in our Pick Six. But, the teams that everybody expected to do well struggled, and now everybody wants to get rid of their coach, so it's just weird.
Yeah, it really is. There's clamoring of Mike McCarthy getting fired in Dallas, even though he's gone 12-5 in 3 straight seasons. I don't think that merits losing your job over. So I am on the fence on that one. Also, I want Bill Belichick as the Atlanta Falcons head coach and want the winning culture instilled here immediately.
Yeah,
so
just
I
not
want that job to open.
Just not Pete Carroll. That's the only one I do not want.
So, interesting enough, yeah, my thoughts on a wild card weekend, the Packers, wow. Jordan Love, wow. Really embraced, I should say the Packers fans really embraced Jordan Love last weekend, blowing out the Cowboys, looking good doing it. Aaron Jones running the football, another game with another 100-plus yards. This time he got in the end zone a couple times. They dismantled the Dallas Cowboys, who were undefeated previously coming in at home this season. So that was the wildest of the wild cards. The Bucs, I picked it. I said the Bucs were going to upset the Eagles. I had a feeling Baker Mayfield was going to do it, and he became the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' best passing performance in the postseason. 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards. Tom Brady didn't even do that in a Buccaneers uniform. So pretty cool. Another crazy stat to me, Wayne. That's the first Buccaneers playoff win without Tom Brady in over
Yeah.
20 years.
Well, they didn't win a whole lot when they first came out, so
So, but pretty eye-opening. You don't really think about that. Yeah, they won some playoff games, but without Tom Brady, it's been the first one in 20 years. And the AFC side of things, continuing the NFC side of things, the Lions squeaked out
yeah, 1
a
point.
home win against their former quarterback, Matt Stafford, and the Los Angeles Rams. An unbelievable game, back and forth, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then going back to the Eagles game, where the Bucs we were just talking about, I'm tired of coaches leaving points out there and taking points off the board. Nick Sirianni took 4 points off the board in that wild card game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And to me, that's never good. Taking points off the board in a playoff game is impeccable, and it shouldn't happen. Again, you kicked the 3 points. It would have been 25-12 at that point. Should have been 25-13.
Yeah, they're even talking about firing. They're firing Sirianni now, aren't they? They're trying to.
That's what everybody wants. It's crazy. I think that's a stupid call too. I think he's a great football coach. They got a little flat at the end of the season. It happens to several football teams, but it was just eye-opening. Again, flip over to the AFC side of things. The Chiefs took care of business in a very cold, windy game in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Taylor Swift in attendance. Nice jacket, by the way, Taylor Swift. I did like the 87 Kelsey jacket. It was pretty sweet, pretty smooth. They took care of business. The Bills took care of business versus the Steelers in a game that was pushed back to Monday on Martin Luther King Day. The Saturday night Dolphins-Chiefs game was the most streamed event ever. That's going to be a new term. 23 million people tuned into it. So very wild card weekend overall. I think we both kind of were surprised at Jordan Love's performance. I kind of thought the Cowboys would get off the hump and get a home playoff victory, get to the next round of the playoffs, gives their fans something to hang their hat on. But no. And here we are now, and we're talking about the Cowboys and another loss yet again and again. I don't think McCarthy should lose his job. 36 wins in 3 years, 15 losses in the regular season, 0-3 in the playoffs. That is a problem, but I think it's on the players there. Dak Prescott, the pick six did not help. Getting down 27-0 in that one was over. As Kyle Shanahan said, basically he started preparing for the Packers that week. And again, we'll get into the preview of the divisional round and the pick six. So we'll kind of keep our thoughts right here on the wild card round. Now let's go to the coaching search, unless you have any final thoughts on the wild card weekend.
No, it just appears to be all about momentum. The teams that did well this past weekend, I feel like, are the ones that had momentum and weren't struggling. And really, Dallas and Philadelphia, they were really spinning their wheels before that weekend even started.
Yeah, Dallas had kind of picked it up the last couple of weeks of the season to win the division. But I kind of think they did so much to catch the Eagles that they kind of ran out of gas going into the playoffs, and didn't help. No. Didn't help the quarterback performance at all in that one. Coaching carousel. New England replaces Bill Belichick with Gerard Mayo, former player under Bill Belichick, and I think it's a good move. Solid move. Knows the program, knows what Robert Kraft wants. Solid move. Only hire thus far. Still, 6 openings left? 7 openings, Atlanta, Carolina, Las Vegas, the Chargers, Los Angeles, Seattle, Tennessee, and Washington are all your vacancies. And let's talk about our Falcons right here. This is ATL Prime Sports. Let's talk about the coaches we have interviewed. And Wayne, I'll get your thoughts on that. Looks, we've heard the big ones. Jim Harbaugh was interviewed. Bill Belichick was interviewed. Atlanta's own Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, who had the best defense in the regular season. Steve Wilkes, former intern coach for the Carolina Panthers for a while. Brian Callahan, Evero, Anthony Weaver, lots of candidates. I like Bill Belichick the best. I'll tell you why, folks. The winning culture, yes, he limped in to 3 or 4 seasons in a row, bad losing seasons, but he did make the playoffs with Mac Jones. I think the winning culture is what I'm looking for. Someone that can come in, take the defense that is got great pieces. You get Grady Jarrett back next year. Harrison played great down the stretch. Anderson, you get him back next year. A.J. Terrell is going to have to take a step in the right direction. Clark Phillips looked good down the stretch. So you got good pieces. I think with Bill Belichick, those pieces become great. That defense goes from good to great. And I think a winning culture gets instilled, and Bill Belichick can pass it on to the next coach in 3 to 5 years and say, hey, this is what I want here. Hopefully it's got a Super Bowl ring attached to it. And that's why I like Bill Belichick. So pump your brakes on Bill Belichick and the recency bias and saying Tom Brady made him. Folks, 32 teams passed on Tom Brady 5 times.
Yep.
And let me tell you what, it did take developing, and Bill Belichick did just that with Tom Brady. He developed the greatest quarterback of all time. So without Tom Brady, there is no Bill Belichick. And it's the vice versa. Without Bill Belichick, there is no Tom Brady because he may not even get drafted. Who knows?
That's right.
So I really do think the winning culture of Bill Belichick matters. I like the Jim Harbaugh interview, of course. That intrigued me. I didn't even think Harbaugh would interview for this job with the recent history of firing after 3 years and 3 coaches in 6 years and blah, 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 blah. I am telling you, or 3 coaches in 7, 10, whatever it is. But I'm telling you right now, Jim Harbaugh getting in the building is huge news for Falcons fans, and it means that Arthur Blank's willing to do anything and everything, Wayne, to get a coach with previous NFL head coaching experience right here in Atlanta and really, again, give the fans something to hang their hat on in the offseason moving forward. So lots of interviews. Which one's been your favorite?
Well, the one that has not happened yet. I kind of feel like I want to see Vrabel interview for that job.
I don't disagree. I think they might get to Mike Vrabel. I've said this last week. Get as many minds in there as you possibly can. Hear as many philosophies as you possibly can. And get anybody involved in this coaching hire involved in voicing their opinion on who they think should be the head football coach of these Atlanta Falcons. Because, again, the pieces are there. You get a quarterback via free agency or you draft a young one and you move forward with pretty good pillars.
Now, you know what they ought to use as a selling point is they ought to tell the new coach, they should say, hey, listen, you come here and coach. Within 2 years, we're going to have a brand new stadium getting built.
I don't know about that.
Well, you don't count it out.
Don't count it out. That's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I love the Mike McDonald interview as well. But again, no head coaching experience yet, but he has been under both Harbaughs in Michigan and in Baltimore. So that's another great hire, if you ask me. If you're not going the head coaching experience route, Mike McDonald would be your next best guy. That wraps up our coaching carousel talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Any final thoughts on that before we head to our pick 6, the coveted, the famous pick 6, Wayne?
No, I'm ready to pick some 6 or whatever it is.
I'm ready to pick some 6 as well. We'll go over our records real quick. Going into the divisional round, pick 6, Larry is 50-58 after a tough 1-5 week last week. TC also went 1-5, going 51-57 overall. And Wayne, you went 2-4 last week.
Terrible.
Gaining a game on both Larry and TC at 49-59. And I went 3-3, squeaking by last week, going 500. I'm over I'm at 12 games over at 60-48, and let's get into it. It's time for the ATL Prime Sports Pick Six. We picked 6 football games. This week, it's actually 6 different lines, and spreads are from Tuesday per ESPN Bet. So we'll do the 4 games and 2 over-unders. That's why I've been saying the over-unders all year. It leads to this moment right here, Wayne, the nitty-gritty. Anybody can catch anybody at any given time. All it takes is a 5-1 or a 1-5er, or a 6-0er and an 0-6er, and you're right back in this thing.
Well,
Number
we'll
one,
see.
the fourth. Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I said we'll see.
The 4th-seeded Houston Texans travel to the number 1 seed Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is a 9-point favorite. Over/under in this one's 45 and a hook. Again, Tuesday spreads per ESPN Bet. Saturday, 4:30 p.m. on ESPN. Wayne, what say you?
I would say this is going to be the momentum game for the Ravens. They are, I believe they are non-stoppable right now and probably win by 14 points. So I'm taking Ravens to cover.
Ravens to cover. Larry's taking the Texans and the hot quarterback and hot rookie coach, DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud in the points. So Texans in the points. TC's going with us, Wayne. I'm going with the Ravens as well. Here's why. Pretty simple. The number 1 defense in the NFL, which is Baltimore, has held its last 4 opponents to under 20 points. One key for this defense success, Wayne, it's third downs. They get off the field. They only allow opponents to convert 36% of their third down attempts, which is one of the best in the NFL. And when you get off the field on third downs, you put your offense in a great position, and it makes it easy. And Todd Monken's smiling, and he has the number 1 rush offense in the league. And I think that is the difference in the game. Look, when the Ravens beat the Texans in week 1, Lamar Jackson was not his best. 17 of 22, 169 yards passing, no touchdowns with an interceptions, only 38 yards rushing in the game. They also are rumored to receive tight end Mark Andrews back from the injured reserve list after missing several games with a bad ankle sprain, a high ankle sprain, I believe, an ankle injury at that. So Mark Andrews coming back. The first time they played, Lamar Jackson didn't play well. They still beat the brakes off of him, by 15 points, 12 points or so. I got to go with the Ravens to cover as well for those reasons. Again, just when Lamar Jackson doesn't play well and they still get the job done and cover the spread, this time it's at home in cold weather. I like Lamar Jackson and Todd Monken and John Harbaugh in this one big. So 3 Ravens. Larry's going with the Texans and the points. Game number 2, the 7th-seeded Packers shocking the world, going to Jerry World and blowing the Cowboys out of the water. Travel to San Francisco to take on the 1-seeded 49ers. San Francisco is a 10-point double-digit favorite. Over/under on this one's 49 and a hook. 8:15 p.m. on Fox. Wayne, what you got?
Well, I'm going with the 49ers on this one. I believe the slipper has fallen off the Packers, and it's time for them to get back in their motor coach and going home.
That makes all 4 of us. We're all going with the 49ers to cover, Larry, TC included. And here's why I'm doing it. 10th playoff meeting between these 2 teams, which is the new playoff record for most matchups in NFL history. The 49ers' last 7 wins, Wayne, 12 or more points. They've dominated everybody. Dominated. It's been fun to watch if you're a 49ers fan. And the Packers' rush defense is near the bottom of the NFL, and this is where San Francisco pulls away. The NFL's leading rusher, Christian McCaffrey, over 1,400 yards on the season. Is going to make his impact on this game late. They'll pull away. I'll give you my score prediction because this is the over-under game we're doing. The first 2, we're doing KC, Green Bay and San Francisco over, and we'll do the KC and Buffalo over. So we'll get to this one again on the over-under in just a moment. But yeah, I like the Niners to cover at home. Shanahan's on a mission. Purdy's healthy. Let's see what happens. We're all going San Fran with the number 1 seed. The third game of the day in the Pick Six, the 4th-seeded Buccaneers travel to Detroit to take on the 3-seeded Lions. Detroit's 6-point favorites, over/under, and this one's 48 and a hook. Sunday, 3:00 p.m. on NBC. The Lions beat the Bucs 20-6 in Week 6. Detroit allowed only 4.6 yards per play in that one, and only 46 yards rushing in that game from Tampa Bay. They held them to 6 points, their season low. The Bucs' inability to run the football and grind out possessions really scares me to take the Bucs and the points in this one. And here's the kicker, Wayne. Another home playoff game for these Detroit Lions fans. They're going to pack the building. Average tickets are right around $500 to $600. This one, they're rowdy and they're ready to play. They're ready to cheer on their Lions. I like the Lions in a close one, but they do cover. A 23-14 type ball game, 23-16, somewhere around about 7 points, I think, and just a touchdown will cover this one. I'm going with the Lions to cover. What say you, Wayne?
Well, unlike Tuna, these Lions are going to be facing some Buccaneers. And I believe when you think about a 450-pound lion going after a Buccaneer, I don't think you stand a chance at all. And now the Lions are going to have a taste for Buccaneer, and that's just going to go on from now on.
So you got the Lions to cover as well.
Yeah. That's my little comedy bit from the movie Other Guys, if anybody's ever seen that.
Yes. Great movie. Desk Pop.
I did my first desk pop.
Johnson, when was your last desk pop? September 06. Great scene. Mark Wahlberg, great in that movie.
Yeah.
The opening scene with, I believe, The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson.
Chasing the lines.
Aim for the bushes, baby. That's what the Bucs are doing this weekend. They're going to aim for the bushes and a padded falling on the way down. Larry's going with the Bucs and the points, though. He's going with the hot Baker Mayfield, who played every last week, basically, to get in the playoffs. Yeah. So Larry's going 49ers and the points, and Todd is taking his Lions to cover. So the fourth and final game, then we'll get into the over-unders. The 3-seeded Chiefs travel to Buffalo, New York, to take on the number 2 seeded Bills. The Buffalo Bills are 2.5-point home favorites. Over-under in this one's 45 and a hook. We'll do the over-under in this one as well for our 6th pick of our 5th pick. We'll actually do the over-under on that one first. But the Bills have won 6 straight and are 5-1 in the postseason at home since 2017. Josh Allen is coming off a historic performance. Josh Allen became the first player in playoff history to throw for 3 or more touchdowns while also rushing for 70-plus yards and a touchdown in a playoff game. So he is playing hot right now. They've had to play for their playoff life for several weeks. That's one reason why I wanted to take the Bucs and the points, but I didn't because I'm going against the trend one time. Mm-hmm. So with the Lions in that one, because of the home rowdiness of the playoffs, I'm kind of leaning the same route here. Patrick Mahomes on the road in the playoffs, we don't know how that's come about yet. So I am taking the Bills to cover. KC's offense has been up and down this year. They're 15th in points per game at just over 21. 2 good defenses here. That's why I'm taking Josh Allen at home. Defense wins championships. Both of them are really, really good. I think it's going to require a couple more points, a couple more touchdowns. Maybe Stephon Diggs has a big impact on this game. I like the Bills to cover. Larry's taking the Bills to cover as well. TC's going Chiefs in the points, and he says he's never betting against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs ever again. That was his reasoning. Wayne, what say you, my friend?
Well, I'm taking the Bills to cover on this one. And, the Chiefs have not looked like their regular Chiefs this whole year, I wouldn't think. But uh, one thing I'm worried about the Chiefs though is they need to find out where they got those bootleg helmets from, because apparently those are no good.
Yeah, that was impressive. The company actually made a statement on that saying that the helmet did its job, meaning the impact was diverted away from
Right.
his head. I'm hoping there was no concussion on that play, but that was pretty impressive.
Right.
I had seen face mask dent, jam, break a little bit, but I've never
Mm.
seen an actual helmet fracture and
Right.
break off in a live game. That was pretty impressive. So you're going to Bills to cover.
Right.
We're the same right now, Wayne. We
Well,
are the same. I believe everything Ravens, Niners, Lions, Bills, Ravens, Niners, Lions, Bills. We are the
yeah.
same. KC Buffalo, we're going over and under in this one. The 45.5 point total. I'm going under here. Two top five defenses. Both teams can get after the quarterback, so I'm thinking a 21-17 type of game. Again, that covers the spread. That gets you under. Add in a cold day, and again, Mahomes' first playoff game away from Arrowhead Stadium in the AFC. That's not a Super Bowl, of course. I'm going under. Wayne, what say you?
Man, I'm going under too. I got a
Ha!
feeling there's going to be lots of defense going on here, and I wouldn't be surprised if after the first half, one of these two teams only had a field goal.
Yeah, it's going to be cold, and again, I've said it all year. The
Chiefs
KC
can deal. The Chiefs
offense
can deal with cold. Cold didn't bother them.
the cold doesn't bother them, but their offense has been up and down this
Yeah.
whole season. So I'm going under on that one. KC Buffalo for Todd. He's going over. And Larry is thinking the same thing as us. I bet that weather is playing a factor with him as well. Windy, cold, going to be tough to throw the football. He is taking the under in that KC Bills game as well. Next, our last and final pick 'em of the night. Again, I'm going under. Larry under. TC over. Wayne, you and I and Larry agree at under. All right, sixth and final pick of the pick six, over under 49 points. Total points, that is, for Packers and 49ers. I'm going under here as well. Both teams have solid defenses, two top 10 Ds. San Francisco's third in the league. Green Bay's 10th. 27-14 type of game. So you get your cover and you get the under. So 27-14 type of game for me. Under on this one. Two unders. Wayne, what say you?
Man, I swear I wrote all these things down, and if you look on there, you'll see I went with under before you even said anything. So I don't know. I've just got some playoffs, and 49 is too high. So under.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's been a low scoring season. Offense has been down this year. We've talked about that on this podcast here. So I'm going under. TC is going over in both games. And Larry is going over in this game as well. So they're expecting shootouts and Jordan Love to move the football, Aaron Jones to run the football. And I just don't think that's going to happen against this vaunted San Francisco D.
Well, it's going to be it's a nice enough stadium where you could go over, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
It's going to be fun to watch either way. It's the NFL playoffs. That wraps up our pick six. Final thought. For me, it's going to revolve around the Atlanta Hawks, currently 16-23 going into tonight's game as we speak. On the outside looking in on postseason play, Atlanta can't defend. They can't. They can't defend anybody. 29th in the NBA in defense, giving up over 123 a game. The Hawks have given up 433 points to one single opponent this year, and that is the Indiana Pacers. That's 144 a game if you're doing the math, folks. Again, they can't cover anybody. They can't be anybody on the defensive side of the floor. They're top five in offense. They're good there. That's not the problem. But I asked a question, and it's really my final question of the night. Is it time for this team to get blown up and rebuild? I'm talking trade anybody and everybody, including Trae Young. Get assets, get draft picks, get free agents in here. And I think Quinn Snyder can do his thing. He's done a really good job as an NBA coach in Salt Lake City. I think he can do the same thing here. Just give him the team that he wants and the player that he wants to build around and do it. Wayne, your final thought for the evening.
Well, just to bounce off your Atlanta Hawks, there's going to be lots and lots of highly skilled players going into the draft next year. And so I think that could also be something that they need to look into. My final thought is actually has to do with Jim Irsay of the Colts. He is experiencing some health difficulties right now, and we'd like to keep him in our prayers. He's not only an NFL team owner, but he has a huge guitar collection. So that's kind of another reason why I'm concerned about him, and hopefully he pulls through this all right.
Yeah, and another thoughts and prayers go to the Warriors assistant coach who lost his life at a team dinner to a heart attack at 46.
That's rough.
Thoughts and prayers to the Warriors organization. Folks, that does it for our show. For TC, for Larry, who are absent this evening, for Wayne in Memphis, Tennessee, I'm JJ Jurjevich. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, give us a like, a subscribe, a follow on the old X at ATL Prime Sports for everything. And we'll see you next week, everybody. Get you one.